Hello everyone, CoinHound here. Our subject today is coin rolls, specifically dollar coin rolls from the United States Mint. Stay tuned. So everyone, this is a little bit of a different topic today to my normal presentations. Obviously, we're not going to be talking silver today. But we are going to be talking coins, and we are going to be talking a little bit of history. Before you see a number of coin rolls that I have picked up in the last 10 or so months from the United States Mint. These coin rolls are something that have increasingly begun to capture my fancy, and they are all U.S. dollar coins. Now, the first coin rolls I bought were the George H.W. Bush presidential dollar. The rolls were released late last year, in late 2020. I have been working on a collection of the U.S. presidential dollar series. I did have an earlier video on that sometime last year that I will put in the description if you want to check that out. I think it's an underrated series. It doesn't seem super popular by any means, but I really like it because I have a lot of interest in American presidents and the presidency. So when I saw those coin rolls come available, I thought, what the heck? I'm going to buy a couple of them. Maybe even view it as a little bit of a different type of stacking. Not precious metal stacking, but maybe a fiat coin stacking if such a thing exists. And these coin rolls for the dollars generally will come in at 25 coins in the roll. So it's got a face value of $25, and they sell for $34.50. All right, so the U.S. Mint's getting a nice little profit off the top there, a nice premium. But the way I figure it is, over time, hopefully they will go up in value. All right, if they don't go up in value, well, they still have the face value, so I'll get something for them. I can go turn them into the bank or whatever. But if they do go up in value, then who knows? Maybe I'll make a nice little profit. And I figure I'm going to hang on these for a while. You know, if all goes well in my life, you know, in the next 5 to 7 years, I am hoping to retire or at least partially retire. So at that time, maybe I'll, you know, open these babies up and sell the coins individually on eBay or somewhere else, trying to make back my money there. Or maybe keeping them in the roll will be the better play. Maybe that'll have a nice value. People going back trying to complete some of these sets might have an interest. So I don't know. I just captured my fancy. I figure I'd get them. I figure over time and the longer run, hopefully they'll have some value to them. If not, they're not overly expensive, so no harm done. So anyways, as I mentioned, I did start with the George H.W. Bush dollars. I wasn't sure what to expect when I got them. You know, the only time I've ever seen coin rolls are kind of those very plain cardboardy ones where people stuff their coins in there and bring them into the bank. But these are actually kind of very nice decorative items. So here, this is the George H.W. Bush 2020 presidential $1 coin. The Denver Mint, you can see the D there on it. And it has this nice kind of patriotic design to it with a little bit of a flag imagery there. So I think that looks extremely nice. And I did get a roll of each. So I've got the Denver and the Philadelphia. So I bought both of those. Now, on one side of these presidential dollars, you have the Statue of Liberty. I think it's a very nice rendition of the Statue of Liberty. Right there, you can see the dollar mark, the United States of America is on there, and then the Statue of Liberty design, which is very nice. And then on the other side, you have the likeness of George Bush right there. Now, George Herbert Walker Bush was born in 1924. He was a graduate of Yale. He was a World War II veteran. At one point, he was the youngest fighter pilot in the Navy and had combat experience. And in fact, he was shot down in combat. A number of his crewmates in that plane perished, but he did survive. He ended up in the ocean and floated around, from what I understand, a few hours before he was rescued by a submarine. So definitely he was a true war hero. And then when he came back after the war, he got into the oil business. He married his wife, Barbara, eventually turned to politics, and had quite a distinguished political career. He was started out as a member of Congress. He became an ambassador to the United Nations, CIA director, vice president, and then, of course, president of the United States. So a very distinguished career, and he just died a few years ago. And this presidential coin series had basically finished because they had done all the presidents that are deceased. And according to the law, you can only put the likeness of a person on a coin if they are deceased. So I guess there was special legislation when President Bush died to resurrect the series and put him onto a coin. So I don't know if that'll be the practice moving forward as additional presidents die and pass away, whether they will continue this on indefinitely or at some point they will call an end to it. So the next set of rolls I got were the Native American dollars, the Native American dollar series, 2021 coin. Of course, I got the D and the P, so Denver and Philadelphia. This series has been running since 2009. It built upon the initial Sacagawea dollar coin and now includes on the obverse the likeness of Sacagawea. And then on the back, it highlights each year, there's a new reverse that highlights a contribution of a tribe or of an individual Native American. And so this year, the 2021, is a tribute to Native American military service. And this is the design here. It has eagle feathers, which apparently in many Native American cultures, eagle feathers were given for acts of bravery during time of war. And it has 5 stars representing the 5 military branches. So I think that's a very nice design. It's simple, clean, yet packs a bit of meaning to it. So very nice. And then, of course, I don't have a Sacagawea because the end coins are both the reverse in this case. But on the other roll, I do. So that's the familiar Sacagawea obverse that's been around for quite a period of time. So there's those 2 rolls. This later in the year, I decided to pick up some rolls of the Innovation Dollar series. Now, I have to be honest, initially, the Innovation Dollars did not really capture my fancy that much because in looking, basically, the series is like some of the quarter series. Each state will have a dollar, and then on the reverse side, it'll highlight some sort of significant innovation, some contribution to the nation that happened with respect to the state. So when my initial look on them, I wasn't all that excited. But they've grown on me over time. I mean, watching Son of a Silver Stacker's channel, he talks a lot about the coin rolls and the dollar designs. And it really started to grow on me. So I decided I was going to start picking some of these up. So the initial ones I picked up are here. And these are the Virginia 2021 Innovation Dollars. In this case, the 2 differing mints are different colors. So the P is in blue and the D is in red. And this design basically highlights the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and Tunnel. So trying to see if I can get an obverse. So the obverse here is the same as the presidential dollars. You got the Statue of Liberty. But on the reverse, right here, you have a crosscut of one of the tunnels on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Tunnel, okay? That's a bit of a mouthful. And that system, I guess you'd call it, was unveiled in 1964, and it spans 17 miles of open water through a combination of trestles, bridges, tunnels, and a number of man-made islands. So quite a technological marvel. and you can see the crosscut there of one of the tunnels and kind of the old-fashioned cars. So that the cars are a nice touch, not using modern cars, going back to some cars that maybe would have been in use at the time that the tunnel first came around. And then the last set of rolls that I picked up are the most recent ones that were released, and these are New York State, both the P, of course, and the D. D and P, there you have it. These, hopefully I've got one reverse here. This one honors the Erie Canal. The history teacher, obviously, when we're teaching the early 1800s, one of the big transportation innovations across the country were canals. So I've always had an interest in transportation issues and canals. And the most famous of them all, at least in the United States, of course, is the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal was a multiple-year project, really quite an endeavor. And basically, it was open in 1825. It was covered 363 miles, and obviously that would have been hand-dug through all kinds of different types of terrain. And it connected the Hudson River to Lake Erie, enabling the transport of goods far more easily from the Atlantic coast, particularly up by New York, out to the Midwest. So this allowed merchants in the East to transport their manufactured goods more easily to the Midwest, to settlers out there, and settlers could transport their raw materials, their crops, and the like back east in a much easier fashion. And I do think this design is super cool. It's got the canal there, and it's got a canal boat, some people sitting on it, and it does have the mule. I'm going to assume it's a mule. You can't really tell. Pulling the little boat by rope. So these canal boats often were pulled by mules by rope, and that little path on the side there where the animal is, and let's see if that's about as good of a zoom as I can get. That little path was called a tow path because the animal would walk down the path towing the canal boat. And so that was how they moved. Obviously, there was no engines at that time, no steam engines yet, although they were coming soon. And this design captures that, and it's got a really nice setting of trees in the background, and I just really think this design is top-notch. So I'm very pleased. Now, when it comes to these new dollar sets, the Native American dollars and the innovation dollars, I think I am going to go back and try to retroactively collect the series, put them into folders of some sort, but that's going to be a longer-term project because there's a lot of them. So anyways, that's the latest. I have done an enrollment now, so I will be getting a set of 2 coin rolls for the innovation dollars moving forward, and that'll happen automatically. And then in the longer term, we'll see how it turns out. We'll see if they have any value, what I want to do with them, and the like. Okay, so anyways, I just want to thank you all very much. Thanks for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And I hope you have a great day, a great evening. This is CoinHound, signing out.